Hey there viewers, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt, and booting up on the screen is my Laser Turbo XT. This is one of the last XTs produced. I believe this one was made around 1988, and we've used this computer in a couple of playthroughs earlier in the channel. Today we're doing something a bit different though. Today we're going to use this to play through a game that was only released about a month ago. Now you may be wondering, how is this possible given this machine's age? But the game in question was actually written in the Sierra AGI engine. Now the AGI engine dates back to the early 80s, which is when the XT was kind of one of the best computers. There was obviously the AT and the 386 that followed, but the XT definitely can run this AGI engine quite well. Now the game in question is actually a demake, or a remake if you want to call it that, of King's Quest VI. Now, King's Quest VI was originally released by Sierra in 1992 or 93, somewhere around there, and it was released and developed using the SCI game engine. Now, the SCI game engine is 256 colors, and generally it was point and click by that period. Now, demaking this to AGI means that we go back to 16 color EGA, and we're also going back to a text parser for our actions. So this one is going to be quite different. As I said, this is a fan-made game, so it's, I believe, quite true to form to King's Quest VI, but I have not played this at all. All I've really done is start it up and verify it works on this computer. Now, there's a few playthroughs already on YouTube for this one. However, I believe I may be the first that actually is doing it with some real hardware. So, I'm going to put this into high-speed mode by pressing Control 8. That way we get a full 10 megahertz, which makes things go a little bit faster. And we're going to load this up. Okay, so here we go. Disclaimer. King's Quest is copyrighted by Sierra Entertainment Incorporated. This application is in no way associated with any current intellectual property owners. This program is entirely fan-made and has been done so without any permission. At the time of this writing, Activision holds all rights to King's Quest. This work is in no way true or accurate representation of the original Sierra Online application. Certain application resources have been explicitly borrowed. Oh, that was a bit fast. I think it said from other Sierra games. So this title here, where we've got King's Quest VI, Air Today, Gone Tomorrow, is very reminiscent of the original, I believe, King's Quest IV or King's Quest II. A few of them used to come up like this anyway. Memory's a little bit hazy on that. But this is definitely a very, very close replica of what Sierra would have done. So you can hear in the background there is a little bit of sound. Another difference between the AGI and the SCI engine was the support for sound cards and add-on sound cards. Now AGI only supports the PC speaker, which is what you're hearing here. In the case of this computer, I have plumbed through, basically by intercepting on the motherboard where the PC speaker is, an audio signal to a mixing console, which then gets basically mixed in with the voiceover. So our options are opening, play and restore, which is very, very similar to the King's Quest VI SCI. So let's start with opening and see what that's got. So we can press escape at any time to skip the entire opening movie. So long ago in the castle of a kingdom called Daventry. Alexander, here you are. Oh, you're still not thinking about Casimir, are you? I suppose I am. Now, for those of you who played King's Quest V, Casimir was right at the end. Son, it's been months. You've got to pull yourself together. After all, you only met her that once. Because Casimir was enslaved, just like, I believe, Alexander and the whole family of King Graham was. I know. Have you discovered anything about the land of the Green Isles? No, no one's ever heard of it. It's just like she's vanished. I wish I could help. Please try to think about something else, dear. I'll try, Mother. So, just quickly, as I mentioned, from King's Quest V, right at the end, you learn that Graham's family was imprisoned by the evil wizard Mordak, and along with them was Princess Casimir. Despite his family's concern, Alexander remains tormented by thoughts of Casimir. Alexander, I feel so alone. I don't know what to do, Alexander. I wish you were here. Casimir, wait, Mother. Mother, come quick. Alexander, what on earth? Ah, you're white as a ghost. Mother, I saw Casimir. She was in the mirror. In the mirror? The magic mirror? Yes, and it showed me how to find her. How? The stars. I saw the stars outside her window. I can navigate by the stars. Jeez, I'll tell you what, he's got a good memory if he can remember that. Oh, Alexander, if you really go... It will be alright, Mother. I promise. Three long months, Prince Alexander sailed the known seas and beyond. So this scene reminds me of something out of Gold Rush, although I think it's a little bit different. Land ho, land ho. Hours pass. As a ship nears the shore, days turns to night and the sea turns violent. Alexander awakens to find himself on the shores of a strange beach. Okay, so that's the intro over. Welcome to King's Quest VI AGI remake. Pressing escape brings up the menu system. Here you can access your inventory, game controls and extensive help section. Be sure to check out the credits for both this and the original game. Have fun. So, for those of you who have played King's Quest VI, the intro is very much similar to the original. A few little different tweaks, obviously the graphics are a little bit different, the animations are a little bit different, but the story is still the same. Here we are now in the land of Green Isles after our ship has sunk. Again, this is very reminiscent in terms of the graphics of the original. Even Alexander's clothing, they've done it, well, it's a very faithful remake actually, considering the limitation on the number of pixels. So let's see what we can do. Let's do a look around. Alexander is standing on a beach littered with debris from his shipwreck. A path leads north into the lush green island. An occasional breeze rustles the nearby foliage. There is a board laying on the beach. There is a ring laying on the beach. Okay, so this game is quite kind and it tells you the ring, if you look very carefully where I'm standing now, you can see there's like an occasional glisten. So take ring. Alexander picks his royal insignia ring from the beach. An original Sierra game would have been a bit nastier than that. It probably wouldn't have told you when you said look around what that was. You'd be expected to look glint or something. Let's look at plank. A long plank lies on the beach. No doubt it once belonged to Alexander's ship. Move plank. Alexander pushes the plank to one side. A box has been partially buried under the sand. That's a big box for the sand, but I guess you've got to do what you do with the limited pixels. Okay, let's open the box. Alexander opens the box. The box must have opened in the sea, spilling its treasure. Everything has been washed away except for one coin of Daventry. Okay, so we've got some arrow keys here. I guess we just go to it, hit the enter key. Alexander takes the coin and leaves the ruined box where it is. So this is leveraging the AGI engine to its max. In the original, I believe there was a pop-up screen, this is the SCI original, and you would navigate with the cursor to pick up the coin. So that's a nice little touch. All right, let's go north. So here we have a fork in the road. Do another look around. Alexander is standing at a crossroads. To the left, he can see a village. To the right, a castle. From the south comes the sounds of the sea. Well, let's head to the castle. Okay. Halt! No strangers may enter the castle of the crown. Talk to guards. Alexander politely addresses the odd-looking guards at the castle doors, hoping to learn more about his predicament. Good day to you, guards. I was cast upon this island in a storm, and I'm a little confused about my location. Could you tell me what place this is and who lives in this castle? Hey, what is that you say? A castaway? A likely story. We haven't had any foreigners in this part since Alzar had arrived. Don't be so rude, Gruff. He's not asking for any secrets. You're standing in the Isle of the Crown, lad, and this is the Castle of the Crown. The royal family resides here, or rather, what is left of the royal family. The Isle of the Crown? But tell me, am I anywhere near the land of the Green Isles? This is the land of the Green Isles. The Isle of the Crown is the main island, foolish boy. Then Princess Casimir must live in this very castle. Aye, the princess is indeed our treasured jewel to guard, and we consider it an honour. Okay, so we're in the right spot. Now, let's show them the ring. Alexander decides to show his royal insignia ring to the Castle of the Crown guards. With all of his papers lost in the shipwreck, it is the only possible calling card he can think of. Good day, I'm Prince Alexander of Daventry, an acquaintance of Princess Casimir. If you could just inform her that I'm here, please. So everyone says. Let me just look at that ring. What does it say, Gruff? Kingdom of Daventry, Prince Alexander. Wait here while I see what Captain Saladin thinks of this. So far so good with the AGI engine running on the original hardware. Hopefully, oh yeah, someone's coming out. As I said, I think I may be the first to play through using an original machine, so if there's some glitches, I wouldn't be overly surprised. The guard returns a moment later with a majestic-looking creature. Captain Saladin speaks with a voice that is gentle but reflects a will of iron. Prince Alexander of Daventry, I presume. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with your country, but I'm sure Vizier Alzarid will want to meet with you, if indeed you are a friend of the princess. Please follow me. Lord Alzarid, a visitor to see you, Prince Alexander of Daventry. What is it that you seek, Prince Alexander? Pardon the intrusion, my lord, but I came to see Princess Casimir. Some months ago, my father, King Graham, saved my family and I from imprisonment under the evil wizard named Mordak. The same wizard that kidnapped the princess? Exactly. When my father rescued us, he also liberated Casimir and sent her home. Then your father has my gratitude and that of the entire kingdom, but I'm afraid I still fail to see the purpose of your visit. Well, I came to make sure that Casimir arrived safely and to pay my respects. Before we parted, she gave me an invitation to visit. I have no doubt she did, exactly at that time? Okay, Prince Alexander. However, things have greatly changed for Casimir since her ordeal in Mordak's castle. Casimir's parents both became ill and died while she was gone. Casimir is sequestered in mourning for them, as she befits a princess. She is not receiving visitors of any kind. Even if she were, I do not think your visit would be appropriate. You see, it is time for Casimir to take her responsibilities seriously. With her parents gone, she no longer has the luxury to be a carefree maiden. As was her parents' wish, Casimir and I are to be wed. We shall rule the kingdom together. I assure you, our marriage is all Casimir wants now. As a prince and as a gentleman, it would be best that you leave before there is any further embarrassment. I see. I suppose that I was mistaken. I thought for certain that Casimir... Well, I apologise. A young man sees what he wishes to see. I'm sorry you wasted your time travelling to the land of Green Isles. May your journey home be swift. Perhaps I will take the opportunity to look around your fair land while I'm here. I would advise against that. The kingdom is rather, shall we say, inhospitable these days, but it is your neck. You may risk it if you please. Captain Saladin will escort you from the castle. Good day. You have had your hearing with the Vizier... Oh, I always get this word wrong, so my apologies. You've had your hearing with Alzarid. I trust you'll respect his wishes and not return. I've been instructed not to let you into the castle again. Good day, my lord. Captain Saladin whispers something to the guard dogs at the castle gate, and they nod with understanding. So in my last playthrough of King's Quest VI, the word Vizier I'd always get wrong, and some people in the comments corrected me on it. So for this one, I think I'll just avoid the word entirely. Alexander has a feeling they won't be letting him into the castle again. Okay, so from here on out, I'm going to play this like I would play King's Quest VI SCI. As I said earlier, I haven't done any sort of playthrough with this or experimented it except for loading it. And, oh, this is a little different. So if we go around the castle here, there's a book. Alexander is standing next to the side wall of a castle. Unlike the well-guarded castle entrance, this area is deserted. Perhaps the guards are confident that the wall itself is impregnable enough to stop any would-be intruders. A book is laying on the grass. Okay, take book. Alexander picks up the book from the ground. It bears the title, Guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles. Look book. Alexander opens the guidebook. Guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles. Okay, so it seems like this is a bit of an add-on to this game to give you a bit more information. Try introduction. Press escape at any time to return to the contents. So there's a little bit of a glitch here. You can sort of see it's trying to redraw all the text all the time. There's sort of a blinky flash. Well, I think it's almost like a cursor or something. Okay, press enter. Okay. So this is quite long. All right. So it's going through all the islands by the look of this. I'm not going to read through and torture everyone with going through it at the moment. Let's just return to the game. And as I said earlier, I'm just going to play this like I would play King's Quest VI SCI. Alright, whoops. Just like a normal AGI game. When you change direction, so I'm going north to basically being west of this screen, it can be a little glitchy. Okay, let's go into the town and see what we can find. So first impressions of this is someone's taken a lot of time to go through and produce all of these graphics. It's tricky in AGI because you're limited by the resolution. The number of colors isn't so bad, but the pixel size is kind of huge. So this has come up pretty well. It's a little busier than an original Sierra AGI game, but nonetheless, it does look quite good. Okay, so the town looks very similar. What is that? Oh, it says pawn on the pawn shop. Oh, that's pretty funny. And there's an X for the library. I'm guessing this is the lamp seller. Let's just talk to this man. Got any old lamps to trade for a new lamp, Sonny? Okay, so it looks like you just go up to him when we've got our lamp. Okay, let's go into the pawn shop. Good day. This is very reminiscent of the original. Okay. Okay, so we've got an option thing here. Talk, trade, take mint, and exit. Let's take a mint. Why not? Let's talk. Good day, merchant. What can you tell me of the land of the Green Isles? I can tell you she's in a dark time. Without the ferry, communication between the islands has been ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the Crown has not done something about it, is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper, not a politician, and can only hope for better days. Alright. So, okay, menu comes back. Let's just see if talk does the same thing. How abide you, good merchant? Quite well, though a purchase would not hurt me any. Okay. So at this point, looks like we can start trading our insignia ring and all that sort of thing. But first, let's just go and explore and speak to the ferryman. Got to remember the doors aren't automatic. Okay. So it's important we don't get rid of the ring just yet, because we need to show that to Jollo if he's in the library in a minute. So that looks like Beauty from Beauty and the Beast, if it's like the original. So we'll just let her do her thing for a minute. Oh, there comes the old hag. You lazy thing, get back to work and stay away from those roses. I've told you a million times, those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you. You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch and clean the stables yet this morning. And get your veil back on, no one wants to look at your face. Yes, stepmother. Okay. Oh, this looks treacherous. Okay. So here's the ferry. I'm going to save it here just in case I fall off. I'm just going to call it Matthew 1. Because this looks sketchy. Okay. So that looks... Is that a door? Oh, here we go. Oops. Oh, there we go. Automatic. Knock, knock, knock. Yeah, what do you want? Good day, sir. I was just wondering if you own this boat. None of your business, stranger. Go away. The ferry's out of business. Oh, it's a bit rude. Let's try that again. I said the ferry's out of business. What do you want to keep bothering me for? I would like it if you just talk to you, sir. Is that so? Well, that's nice and all, but I really can't do anything for you, so just walk away nice now and leave me be. Okay. Ferryman was a lot nicer in the original. Okay. Alright, so he wants nothing to do with this. Maybe we have to talk to the person in the pawn shop a bit more. Alright, let's go back. Now, I haven't seen the genie try and invite us into the water yet, which was part of the SCI version. Maybe that's coming later. Okay, let's try the library. Hello, I'll be right up. Now, what can I do for you? Man. Hello, merchant. What can you tell me of the land of Green Isles? That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you? My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island and if there are any other islands nearby. You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not of the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown because the royal family's castle is here. Besides the castle, we also have this village and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands: the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder. At least 3? Does no one know for certain? This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world. That's quite a claim. Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night. Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them? Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand. Meeting each of the leaders of each place would be helpful naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle. Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice. Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more. Okay. So, let's just look at the book that's on the counter here. Appears to be a book on the centre table. There is a spell book on the merchant's counter. Love poems line the shelves of the far right side of the room. There are indeed many books. It is a bookshop. Let's look at the spell book. How much for that book on the counter, merchant? It is a fine book, is it not? I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician this kingdom has ever had. Poofed himself into an aardvark in the end, or so I heard. I've never found the spells all that useful myself, but then I lead a boring life. I'll tell you what, if you can find another rare book, something a bit more marketable, I might be willing to exchange the spell book for it. Okay, so that's useful. Thinking of Casimir, Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, I'm not going to go through this. Not bad, and another. Yikes, and another. A little close to home, that one. Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf. A page from the love poems has fallen to the floor. Alexander picks up the fallen page. It is the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book. I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I've glued the stubborn thing back into place 2 times already. I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant. Okay, so we need that later on. And the last thing is this book here. Take book. Alexander picks up the book from the small table. Oh yes, please take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir. Really? Thanks. Alexander reads a passage at random in his new book. 2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of... Yawn. Phew, what an incredibly boring book. No wonder the bookshop owner wanted to get rid of it so badly. Alright, so we need that a little bit later on the Isle of Wonder. So it looks like that's all we can do for now in the bookshop. I was hoping Jollo the Jester would be here and we can show him our ring and identify ourselves, but maybe that's different in this game. I don't know. Now, he did mention to go speak to the ferryman, so that is definitely an option now that may result in a slightly different dialogue. So let's travel back over here. So for a fan-made game, these graphics are not too bad. As I mentioned earlier, they're a little bit busier than a generic AGI game of Sierra back in the 80s, but... Oh, here we go. Hey stranger, come join me. The water's wonderful and I can show you the way to the next island. So, just for fun... Oops. Let's save it and let's just see what happens, which it's going to be certain death, but it can be fun just to see how this plays out. Alexander falls into the ocean. The powerful currents grab Alexander. Struggle as he might, he feels himself being pulled out to sea. Glad you could join me, ha ha ha. No, I can't type. The currents around the island pull Alexander under. Tee hee hee, not a very good swimmer, are you? Glub, help me. Sorry, I think not. As his head submerges for the third time, Alexander finds himself pondering the wisdom of going out on a limb for a stranger. That's a nice effect. So, see how we're kind of interlaced with our character? In the SCI version, you're kind of a ghostly looking figure where you're almost transparent. Alexander couldn't handle those currents. That boy must have been an unbelievably strong swimmer. Let's restore. Okay. What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you where the next island is. Okay. That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water. Right, let's try our luck again. I said the ferry's out of business. What do you want to keep bothering me for? Excuse me, my name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you, if you have a moment. You say old Ali sent you. I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know. I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands, if you don't mind. Well, alright. I guess it'll be alright. If Ali sent you, just don't stand there. Come inside. What is it you want to talk about, young man? Alright, so we have some options here. So we'll go just 1 through 6. Kingdom. I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area. So you said outside. What is it you want to know? Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked? Just ain't safe to sail these days. With what the island's feuding and all. Alzar had ordered the ferry closed till things settle down. Me? I don't think she'll ever see the water again. But why the island's feuding? You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly. Then this unrest is recent? A few years is all, but it's been long enough. Perhaps if the ferry were repaired? This old thing? This ferry's been out of the water so long, she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater. But there must be some way to get off this island. There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander. Alright, so that's how we find out about the map. Let's see about the ferry. Tell me more about the ferry. I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Casimir themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Casimir was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen. But the Queen had no answer. Alright, so that's the ferry. Let's ask about his job. What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates? Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks, but that knowledge does me no good now. Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy? Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island. Okay, let's ask about Casimir. Tell me about Princess Casimir. Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen, they served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. They are sorely missed. Alright, let's ask about the islands. What else can you tell me about the land? Let's see, the Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind. You got to have a good sense of humour to enjoy a tour there. The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately you can't get very far onto the island. The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is. The Castle of the Crown is sure a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant. Some say the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of magnetism that sucks life from this world onto the next. Of course, that's just silly talk. Alright, and lucky last, the rabbit foot. I see you have a rabbit's foot on the table. Has it brought you much luck? Humph, as you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving away the damn thing will bring me some good fortune at last. Perhaps it will at that. Thank you. Alright, so we've got everything we need from here, so we can leave. Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home. Gosh, not at all. Breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean. It's kind of funny, he was super inhospitable until we said the bookkeeper sent us, but that's alright. Okay, so now we know a little bit about the islands. And we know about the magic map. Alright. So let's go back to... We're going to try the bookstore first. I want to see if Jolo's there. Because to move forward and to get the map, we need to pawn our ring. And the problem with that is we also need to show the ring to Jolo to prove that we're a friend of the princess. And you can get the ring back from the pawn store, but it's a bit annoying because you've got to give him the map and stuff around. But hopefully Jolo is in here now. Yep, there he is. Talk to man. Oops. Missed one there, but I'm sorry, I've no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess. Wait, you know the princess? Alexander searches his inventory for something to grab the strange man's attention. So we got to show him the royal insignia ring. Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself. Excuse me, good fellow, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and I have this. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flight mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Casimir told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here? Why, by a ship, now wrecked upon the sand. But you know, Casimir, she truly spoke of me? Yes, yes. I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' death. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself. What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known. Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent. Where is she now? The princess is sequestered in mourning. It is a rather dated tradition and not required, but the, whatever that word is, says she insisted out of respect. I see. You've yet to say who you are and how you know the princess. Oh, I? Pardon me. My name is Jollo. I am clown to the royal court and have been since the marriage of Casimir's parents, King Califim and Queen Ilaria. Ah, those were happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Casimir's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited and how they'd hoped for a child. She was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. She means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I am so terribly worried about her. About her grief over her parents, you mean? Well, the truth is, I do not trust Alhazaran, nor his plan for Casimir. I am still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown, but it's more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Casimir's pet nightingale, I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for her to end her seclusion. Now I'm afraid I must hurry back to the castle. I'll try to return to the bookshop again later. Thank you for speaking with me, Jollo. I hope we meet again soon. Okay, so talking to Jollo isn't mandatory, but it's very helpful if you infiltrate the castle later on, either way, because he can basically get you out of jail for free once if you end up in the dungeon. So that's always a handy thing to have. Now, we can't trade anything for the spellbook yet, so we're going to leave that there. We're going to head on out and see if we can get a magic map. Oh, there's Jollo wandering off. Okay. Good day. Alright, looks like the genie is there in that cloak. Alright, so let's talk again because we might be able to get the map. Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles. Why, as a matter of fact, I do. I keep it under the counter. It has been gathering dust so long, I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, Which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in travelling. It is said that one only needs to desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there. It is a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in travelling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom. What would you take for the map? I would normally want something magic in return, but since I'm hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange. So we need to trade our ring. I guess we just go trade. So let's go to the ring. Would you be willing to trade my family ring in exchange for the magic map? Daventry, are you a king then? No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander. Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom? The ring does mean a lot to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now. Then, now you own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can return for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for the gold. And a warning about the map. It will only operate when you're in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach. Thank you. You're very kind, and I'll remember about the map. Okay, so now we have a map. Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander and, with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar. The old man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop. Seconds later, in the castle. Master, hic, I followed Prince Alexander as you, hic, wished. From the pawn shop owner, he just reprieved, he just got a magic map. You fool, you've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that. Yes, master. Now, what is this about a magic map? With the map, Prince Alexander can travel anywhere as quickly as I can. What? I thought you took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them. Okay, so now let's do another trade, and this time we're going to trade our coin. Ooh, you may have glitched because it said magic map. Okay, let's just exit this for a second. And make sure, hopefully we've still got the map. We do. Let's just save it. So yeah, I expected there may be a few glitches because not only the old hardware, but being a fan-made game, they don't get quite as much testing as a normal one. Let's just try talking again. Okay, that doesn't help. Let's see if we can do another trade. Keeps going on about the map. Oh, one too many enters. Maybe we have to exit and then look table. Look bird. Look desk. Look around. Pawn shop stimulate place slightly musty smell. Curiosity listed at the corner of the shelf. For sale articles that range from bizarre to the commonplace, from the priceless to the practical. There are several objects of interest on the main counter. The pawn shop's counter is made of sturdy teak. The wood is well worn by eager hands and well oiled by the shop's faithful keeper. Several objects rest upon the countertop. A dish of mince, a mechanical nightingale, a flute, a paintbrush, a tinderbox. We need the... Maybe let's try trading now. No, we're still stuck with the map. Okay, let's see if we can... this is annoying. Let's get out of here for a second. So we need the Nightingale for the land of, or the Isle of Wonder, I should say. So if this isn't going to get past here, we might be in trouble. Hopefully if we go out, the pawn shop keeper should come and dump a heap of stuff in that, well, I don't know if it's a bin. Alexander empties a large pot. It is currently empty, but a few scraps at the bottom indicate it is used as a dump site on occasion. So I'm hoping the pawn shop owner comes out. Maybe let's just go off the screen. Okay, hear that noise? That's Sing Sing. And you can sort of see there's a bird in the top right corner. Okay, so that's looking like the original. So let's just go back. Hopefully, okay, he's going to dump out his stuff. Good. So now we can look. I think he called it a pot. Alexander sorts through the odds and ends the pawn shop owner dumped in the pot. Magic exploding gum rackers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb. Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labelled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy. Yeah, that's disappearing ink. So let's save it again. Alright. Hopefully now we can do some trading. Good day, Prince Alexander. All right, let's see. Trade. We want the copper coin. Ah, now we're good. I have this copper coin. Is it of any value to you at all? Most interesting. I've never seen a Daventry coin before, but is copper genuine enough? I might even find a buyer who is interested in foreign currency. The items on the front counter are the only things in the store that I can let go for the price of 1 copper. You may make your choice from there. Alexander looks at the items on the counter to make his selection. So I'm going to go with the Nightingale. That mechanical nightingale looks intriguing. I believe I'll take it. Very good, sir. Enjoy the mechanical nightingale. Remember that I will take it back in trade at any time. Now another thing we can try while we're here, because we saw Sing Sing just before, let's trade the map back temporarily. Okay. So now, if we exit this, this next step is not necessary to solve the game, either using the optimal solution or the suboptimal one. And by that I mean there's 2 ways to actually end this game. One way you save the parents of Casimir from the land of the dead, the other way you don't. Either or, you do not need to do this part. This just get, oh, the bird's gone. This just gets you extra points. So to do this bit, you need Sing Sing to be on the screen. So let's just try and go backwards and forwards a couple of times. And we can always come back and do this later. It's not the end of the world. Oh, damn. That's annoying. So the idea is that you use the mechanical nightingale to lure down the actual nightingale. And then you give the nightingale the ring. And then that lets Casimir know you're there because it flies off and it shows it to her. She returns a ribbon. And from that, actually, no, you do need to do it, I'm sorry. Because if you don't get the black hair out of the ribbon, which you need to make a spell. And then from that, you can put the love poem onto the bird, and it will fly the love poem to her. But it's looking like we're out of luck for now, so we'll come back to that a little bit later. So for now, let's go back into the pawn shop. Open door. So yeah, this game's a little bit slow to get started, just like the SCI version. Takes a while to get things kind of set up and the ball rolling. But once you get going, it's not too bad. So now we want to trade. I want to trade my ring for the map. Then I want to exit. Let's see if we can go over to the Isle of Wonder, I think is first. Now let's see, Isle of Wonder, we need to trick the dwarves. So we're going to need the rabbit's foot, so they think it's a rabbit. We need the invisible ink, which we got out of the bucket there, so we're invisible for the one that can see. We need a stinky flower to trick the one that can smell. And we need something else. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, the nightingale for the one that can hear. Now the stink flower, I think, if I remember... Oh, there's the nightingale now. That's super annoying. Let's just use nightingale. So that should lure the bird down. Okay. So normally you can lure the bird to you. Not sure if you've just got them in a certain spot. Okay, so I think in the original, again, it's a point and click, so it's much easier. You kind of just put it on the ground and it lures the other nightingale down to the lower branch. See if we get a hint from here. Nightingale perches on the high branch of the tree. She sings the most beautiful song Alexander has ever heard. I have to think about that one. It's not strictly necessary yet. We've got to do it before we go over to one of the isles, but we'll figure it out then. Okay, back to the beach. Might just do a quick save here. That way, if anything goes wrong, we're good to go. Okay. Okay, so look map. Alright, so we just got to select an island number. So first, we need to go to the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. Because I think that's where the stink thing is. It's like a flower or something, if I recall. Oh no, it's still got the logic cliffs. I was wondering about that. Hopefully we don't have to walk up the logic cliffs, because if anyone's played King's Quest in particular, and had to navigate staircases using the AGI engine, you'll know the pain. Alexander is standing on the small sandy cove of a rocky island. Around him, sheer granite cliffs block any further movement north, east, or west. To the south, he is blocked by the sea. Alexander notices an unusually large coal-black feather lying on the beach. There is an ugly flower growing near the base of the cliff. There is writing on the cliff. We're going to take the flower. Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odour. For a moment, he can smell nothing else. And we're going to take the feather. We're not going to worry about reading that because we'll come back to it. So now if we look at the map again. Okay, so we want to go to Isle of Wonder. So that'll be number 2. Oh wow, that's a big where. Oops. Look, water. The blue ocean stretches on as far as Alexander can see. A string of letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup. This is ridiculous. Okay, so they're called letters. Take letters. Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete. Now this, I think that's supposed to be an oyster. Has anyone watching this video ever played Commander Keen? This thing looks like one of those, like, I don't know what it is, alien things that would attack you in Commander Keen and you'd have to shoot it multiple times, like with the eyes kind of sticking out the top. It's kind of cool looking. But let's look creature. Guess they know it's an oyster. An oyster is sitting near the shore. It appears to be very tired. Yawn. Oop. In the oyster's mouth, Alexander can see a glint of white. Alright, let's talk to the oyster. Why do you look so worried? I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth. Now we have to read to oyster. If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you. Hey, that would be great. I'm not going to read this. It's so boring and weird. So basically this boring book gets read to the oyster. And it looks like somehow I've just passed through the oyster. Let's just get to take pearl. Alexander makes a grab for the pearl. Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great. The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber. Okay, so we've fixed that little dude up. Let's give it another save. Alright. Now, just looking at the time, we've been going for quite a while, so we're going to end it in just a second. But let's just walk off into the yonder here. And we should get called back by a challenge of dwarves. Alexander hears someone coming. Alright. Oh wow, they're huge. More like an ogre. So yeah, one of these has sight, one has hearing, one has smell, and one has touch. So there's 4 senses. Oh, one has taste as well. Whoops, forgot about the fifth. That's what we use the mint for. 5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Trowell, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well. Now, it's just going to give us the option. Okay, press enter to search inventory. So this guy, we need the flower of stench. Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose. Tom Trow I am, and that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench is washed ashore. A flower 'tis all and nothing more. Alright, so we got rid of him. This one has massive ears, so I'm guessing this is the hearing one. Listen, hark you, Grosvenor. Do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more. So this one we need the nightingale. Let's see, mechanical nightingale. Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears. A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all to be. No man is near, and so say me. Alright. Now this might be... Oh, the taste guy. Taste, Grumfrum, that we might know whether friend or whether foe. So this one we need the mint. My buds it never duds. Classic. Mint. Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with a gigantic mouth. Grumfrump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what the others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet. I reckon this is the touch one because it looks like he's got massive hands. Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man? So this one we need the rabbit's foot. My fingertips shall speak as lips. Right, rabbit foot. Alexander holds the rabbit's foot out for the gnome with huge hands. Be all you mad, what aileth thee? A bunny cannot trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit is here is all we greet. Now the sight one. This is a bit trickier. Old Bill Batter never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter. I'm not sure how we're going to do this one. My sight, no one can fight. So I guess we just select the invisible ink. I guess it just does it for us. Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself. By all that's beauteous, fair and sightly, 4 morons I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this, let's now away. Alright. So that gets rid of them. Alright, and back we are. Alexander did it. He's fooled the guards. Alright, that deserves a save, I reckon. Okay, so looking at the time, we've been playing for a while now. We're going to end this off for part 1 of playing through King's Quest VI AGI. So far, my impressions are really good. It's a really well polished game for a fan-made one. My only criticism, some of the graphics are a little bit busy and it's hard to kind of see what's going on if you've never played King's Quest VI before. However, it's very true to the SCI version. So if you've played SCI version, you'll recognize absolutely everything. I like the inclusion of kind of the, you know, the click and select or the select a number rather than having to type absolutely everything feature. That's quite good. And so far on the original XT, it's playing fantastically. What I didn't mention at the beginning was, in addition to this being original XT, it is running an EGA graphics card. This is not a VGA graphics card, it's definitely EGA. So that part of it is also working fantastically. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying this video so far, please please consider giving it a thumbs up. It does help the channel to grow and gives me a bit of encouragement to create some more videos. I will catch you soon in the next one, which will be part 2. See you later.